love, kindness, and peace on earth. So if you are wanting to have more of that in your life, please like our page and you will get notifications whenever we are live. I am so blessed to be able to bring you these incredible guests who are answering that question, what else is possible? So today we have James Humecky, who is going to be talking to us about somatic healing and also how we can use our breath and our movement and self-mastery and touch along with mindfulness to facilitate more of our own awareness, to have a much more peaceful human experience. So welcome, James.
Thank you, Karen. It's good to see you.
It's wonderful to be with you again. Yes, and I want to go into just a little bit about just a little backstory about. Hi, Kim. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, if you're coming in, please type into the chat where you're watching from, and we'll give you a big shout out. I'm in Southern California. Where are you, James?
I'm in Mendocino.
Awesome.
Just north of San Francisco, a couple hours.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome. So what I'd love for you to share a little bit about is just a little bit of the backstory of how you got involved with this modality, and maybe just a little bit about how it's helped some people. It's helped me a lot. So we're going to go into that later in the show, but just a little bit of your backstory of how you got involved with becoming an educator.
Yeah, very good. I love talking about myself, so this is an easy part for me. I have been interested and involved in my body from a very early age. You know, I feel like I started becoming really aware of what's going on inside and how I'm moving from, I don't know, like second grade. So I was like 8 years old, and I remember thinking about these things, like, why is my leg moving that way? And why does my arm pop that way? And how come I can do this and can't do that? And yada, yada. So, and then as I went along, so when I was probably around 16, I decided I wanted to be a chiropractor. And that didn't work out. Different things in life got in the way. And, so I've always had this affinity, through martial arts, through wrestling, through cross country skiing and running and different things like that, to really observing what's happening inside. And I didn't really have any formal education around that, like what that was. And I didn't really get involved in like mindfulness meditation probably until I was in my mid-20s, maybe late 20s. I mean, I'd been connected with it on some level, but not in the way of like really looking inside and what's happening and paying attention to your movements, paying attention to how you wash the dishes, right? That's the old one, or how you drive the car. So that started an even deeper interest. And then as the years went by, raised kids and whatnot. Then when I was about 40, I went to massage school on the recommendation of a friend, and I just fell in love with body work and massage. And I feel very lucky to have studied under a man up here. His name is Fred Mittauer, and his method of teaching left it very open. So you weren't just learning a rote way of working with the body. You were learning how to listen to the body. You were learning how to listen to your own self and bring your life experiences into how you work with people and how you observe people. So that was a big jump in that. And then from there on, I pulled in all the spiritual work and the mindfulness work and the movement work, and then went on to study many, many other modalities. So I don't really call this a modality. It's more of like a way of living.
Yeah.
And we say somatic because that's whole body. You're looking at the body as an organic whole. as opposed to compartmentalized pieces. So you might look at the deltoid muscle and feel like there's something going on in there, but you can understand how it's affecting or being affected by other things that are going on in your body. So your mental state, your emotional state, your feeling state. When I say feeling state, I'm talking about like how the sensations that are happening in your body, the things that your nervous system is reacting to. So that can be things outside your body, externals, or it can be inside. So and then through that study, I really began to have an even deeper understanding, through quantum mechanics and different things, or quantum physics and things like that, like how much we are a part of everything, or everything is a part of us. There's not, in fact, there's not even a part, there's just no separation in that way. So that for me is a big part of this way of educating, or this way of seeing the world, is that sense of community, that sense of collective wisdom, and the way we get in touch with that, the quickest way that we get in touch with that is through our bodies, because that's where we're consciously aware.
Right.
And yeah, so that's how I got there, and part of how I visualize that. So when I'm working with people, I'll just quickly finish this. As I'm working with people, I'm observing the whole body.
Yeah.
And I'm observing my body at the same time, and the environment.
Because there's
So
no
when somebody comes in and
separation.
they say, right.
It's
So
all
when somebody comes in and they
interdependent.
say my knee hurts, and my hip hurts, and my shin hurts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of an acute, treatment, let's say, it's just that part. We can work on there for an hour in just that one area. We're also looking at, like, well, how's your belly feeling? Can you relax your jaw?
Yeah, that
Can
really
you
helped.
feel
That really did help.
the environment and whatnot? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a session with James, and it was interesting because I had this dull ache that was in my head, and he asked me, well, let's visit and see where you're holding stuff, and he had me put my hands behind my head, on my upper the bottom of my skull, right?
Occiput, yeah, the bottom of the
What is
skull
it
there,
called
yeah.
again?
The occiput, or the
The
occipital
occiput.
ridge, which
Okay,
is
so
right.
right there,
Yeah.
and when I did that instantly, almost instantly, the dull ache went away. And it was just that nice, gentle pressure. And so I've been doing it all the time. I find myself, and then he had me close my eyes and look over to the left and then over to the right without moving my face at all. And I wanted to go into,
Head, yeah.
so I put James's website here because he has a session for you so you can come and experience this for yourself, because James is a very gifted and wise healer. And I think that everyone can benefit from his wisdom. And I benefited a lot from it, especially, learning how to do that massage in my inside of my jaw. That was incredible, and then
You
being
did a
able
great
to,
job.
yeah,
Gonna
just
put me out of
I'm always open. I'm so open to receive. I'm
Yeah.
always like, I love having sessions with people. I'm a Kundalini yoga instructor myself, and so I love to talk about the body and to really do those inner journeys, to really, like you said, we're interdependent on each other. We need each other. We as a society need to realize that. And I think that what's happening with our world is more and more people are realizing, wow, we really are interdependent on nature. We are interdependent on everything.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, I was hearing a great talk by somebody today, and we were talking, and they was talking about the soil, and how important
Yes.
the life of the soil is to our life, and how the soil, that healthy soil, is actually breathing and bringing oxygen and bringing life to us. And as we separate ourselves from that, and as we kill off the soil and the environment, we're killing ourselves off. So, it's interdependent is almost not close enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we are the same thing. We are the same thing, and you can't affect one piece of it without affecting the whole. And that's like foundational in all the work that I do. And I just wanted to quickly speak to the work. So what we were working with there specifically was the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
So you've heard of the polyvagal theory and how that connects the 11th cervical nerve, and it connects to the face, and all the facial expression and outward expression also is deeply connected with the belly
Yeah.
and all the organs and whatnot. And so there's this constant communication happening, and that's where we get a lot of our information, like a huge amount of our information. It's that 90% of the rest of the iceberg that's below our consciousness, right? So when you're working with that, you're working very physiologically with the fascia, with the vagus nerve, and the eye movement and the holding is a vagus nerve reset. So it brings you back into, I don't know, a good word, maybe stasis or dynamic tension in your body in a balanced way.
Yeah.
So it'll help relieve those muscle tensions and the anxieties and different things that keep us that way. The eye strain.
Yeah. It's incredible. I really think that, and I love understanding it a little bit more, because even though we didn't go deeply into why it felt so much better, I have been just doing it on my own since you taught me how to do
Great.
that. And I did it with the children too, because I teach children. And I have, a summer camp that I teach with the children. And so we were doing breathing exercises, and I said,
Wow.
just see how this feels. And I can explain a little bit more, because we can go into the science behind it. And I love that. But I love the closing the eyes and looking side to side without moving the head. It's something that I never thought to do, but once I do it, it does relax everything. And even if I'm having trouble getting to sleep at night, it was helping. It was helping that.
It seems a little bit like magic
Yeah.
sometimes.
The kids really liked it too, and
Oh, great.
and so now I know what that nerve is, and
Yeah.
I love that. So hi, Sharon Ria, thanks for being here. Debbie Garcia's in the house, yay! We got Tina Helene in the
Hey.
house, woohoo! Anybody have questions? We want to type in if you have any questions for James. And like I said, go to his website. There's so much wisdom there. There's so much education, and he also has. Did you say you're doing a class that you're doing with one of your? Is there a link to that also that you have, or is that all on your website?
There's not a link. The website is still in process, but it's live right now. But just know that it's also still being developed. And I'll have a button there eventually for the classes that I teach online. So right now, every Monday, I'm teaching a class on Zoom. It's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if anybody's interested, because I can just give you that right now. If you, I don't know if there's a place I can type.
Yeah, afterwards you can go back in and you can type into the chat and anytime, and then if people have. Yeah,
Okay.
and people can ask you questions also in the chat. So anybody can type in anytime into the chat. And then you can come back after into the replay and you can type in the correct link. So people will have that correct link also.
Excellent. Great. We'll do that.
So did anybody have any questions that they wanted to type in?
There was a little delay there. Are we? Yeah. Okay.
Just giving chance for the audience to kind of integrate what we've talked about and see if they have any questions or comments or anything
Hmm.
that they'd like to share about anything that they want to.
Right. So I'll just say this. There on my site, you'll see there's a free session available. It's a free 30-minute session on Zoom. Um, and in a session, find some tools that would work for you in the moment, and then something that you can use later on. So we'd be using breath and self-touch, mindfulness techniques, different things like that. I'm also trained as a massage therapist, body worker, various modalities, Thai massage, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it's hard to do over Zoom. But
Yeah.
if you have a partner and you guys would like to work together and learn some things that you could do together, feel free to get a hold of me as well. And I'm happy to do what I can. And then of course there's longer sessions that are available.
So she wants to. Tina would like to have more understanding about the body and how the body is giving us feedback when we do have pain or any kind of issues that are coming up, like that dull ache that I was having. Um, you know, how do you know what to do in the body is what she's asking. Is that something intuitive that you, or is that something that you are that you have done through your education?
I think I
It keeps freezing.
I think I lost you there for a minute, so I didn't catch the full question.
I think she just wants to understand a little bit more about how do we
Hmm.
know when our body is telling us certain things.
Well, I mean, there's that can be a very big uh, uh, subject matter, but um, the main thing for me, especially when you're starting out, is to be a body, and it's in that sense it's fairly simple. You're looking at, like, do I feel vibration? Do I feel tickling? Do I feel a hollowness in my stomach? Do I feel um, is my vision blurry? Is the temperature high or low? Is my heart rate? How's my heart rate? And then, as you begin to learn these techniques of breath and movement and meditation, you refine that ability to discern what's happening in your body, that awareness of what's happening in your body. Then you begin to see, like, how your breathing patterns are. You begin to
Yes.
realize whether you're breathing like very shallow, or um, your whole chest isn't expanding when you breathe, or your belly's not moving at all. I work with people and I'll have them take an inhale and then push down into their low belly and push their low belly out.
Hmm.
I'll put my hand on them. I'll say, push your low belly out against my hand. And it's amazing how many people can't do that. They
Yeah.
can't access that immediately. It takes a few times and then they push it out and they're like, oh. So that's the
Oh.
kind of awareness that we get, like, oh. And or not even aware that they're holding their jaw
It wasn't
tight,
at
they're like
all.
this,
Yeah.
and just like being able to let that go. You suddenly, like your eyes get brighter, and
Yes.
it takes a lot of energy to hold tension in the body. It takes a lot
Uh-huh.
of energy. So the ideas of, like, the kundalini rising, and these other things that have been, kind of spiritualized or, sort of esoteric, is really, in my view, is releasing tension in your body so that the natural energy can flow, the
Right.
stuff that's there already,
Yeah.
the things you already have access to, all of a sudden, begin to flow. It's like having a garden hose that's kinked and like letting it go. So, it's
Exactly.
not, yeah. And that's the way I
Exactly.
look at things like enlightenment. It's this awareness of what's happening
It's always
naturally,
been
and
there.
that connectedness that we talk about, that
Yeah.
up and out of the field, or we're not born onto the earth. We don't come from someplace else and come onto the earth. We actually come up and out of it. We are part of it. We're integral to it.
Uh-huh.
So
And I love,
um
Mary says muscles in her lower back. She was told to breathe more.
mm, yes. So Mary, just as a quick thing, and obviously we don't have time to go into it right now, but laying down, feet on the floor, knees bent, maybe just let the knees fall together so you're nice and relaxed. And as you breathe, just really pay attention and try this a few times. Like, take a nice deep inhale and inhale all the way down into the floor of the pelvis and push it out. Like if you're expanding a balloon, so that it feels expanded in all areas evenly, all the way around. And just try that a few times and see if that has an effect, in your awareness of what's going on, because that's really the most important
And
thing.
Kim says it's a great question because we are trying to learn to listen to our bodies. It's hard to know what to look for when you haven't been living like that before. Also, when you are trying to feel, you
Mm.
still don't know what it means. So that's a really great insight, Kim. Thank you for sharing that. She says it's kind of funny because
Yeah.
women rarely want to push out their belly. We're always tucking it in. We're always trying to suck our belly.
Exactly. Well, men too. Where's my
And men
six
too,
pack? Not
right?
that I ever really had one, but it's kind of like, but then my partner says being relaxed the way it should be. So when we're holding ourselves, we're actually causing um, a lot of the pain
Yeah.
that we're experiencing. So I want to speak to Kim's
Yeah.
observation there about
The
not
body.
knowing what it means.
Yeah.
So the first thing I tell people is, like, quit trying to figure out what it means right now. You know, just learn how to listen to it and be able to discern what it is. And as you go along, the the body wisdom will become more clear.
Hmm.
you know as you begin, you'll want to do things that are more healthy for your body, because you'll understand, like, when I drink the coffee, all of a sudden my heart rate goes up, and all of a sudden my anxiety feels more intense, or I can't quite focus the way that I want to, or whatever it is for anybody. And then when you don't do it for a couple of days, and you're like, wow, that's really different, then you begin to understand what those messages mean.
Yeah.
And the heart rate goes up, your body is reacting, your nervous system is reacting to something that it sees as danger or an enemy,
Hmm.
right? Something unsafe. So it's like getting prepared for um, whatever it needs to do, fight, flight, or freeze kind of a thing. And I just one more thing about that little statement. The fight, flight, and freeze is we're taught is the natural um, sympathetic nervous system response.
Yeah.
And I've come to believe that that's that is the response when we don't know how to respond, because the real response, I believe, with human beings even though, yes, we learn how to protect ourselves and understand when there's danger and whatnot, but the even deeper response is to care for those around us, tend and befriend.
Mm-hmm.
As
And rest
that's
and
my
digest. Rest and
belief.
digest too.
And rest and digest. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
all,
the fight, flight, and freeze is like when, when there's something
that's the
that
amygdala.
isn't
Yeah.
allowing you to really move forward,
Mm-hmm.
really to um, um, confront the situation
Right.
in a mature way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, this has been so wonderful, James. I want to thank everybody for your questions and your comments. I want to thank Kim. She says, yes, I see. So strive for peaceful, relaxing state. And that, yeah, don't we all want to just be in that state?
Yeah,
But it is tend and
that would be
befriend.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, tend and befriend.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that I teach is kindness as a practice to ourself. Is
Hmm.
because when we're more kind to ourselves, when we have self-compassion and self-kindness, we actually feel better and we want to do more for others. And it's really it's all about filling your own
Hmm.
cup first so that you can give others something to drink. And if you're giving from an empty cup, you end up feeling very,
That's so true.
yeah, you end up feeling very, very thirsty.
That's so true.
Everybody ends up thirsty.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
yes. So this
Yep.
is, yep, this is him right here, James. This is his website. I'm going to make sure that you guys get
Oh,
that so that we have that
I'm
right up here. And you can, right in the live stream, all you have to do, whether you're watching live or on the replay, is click on that link. It'll take you right over to his website. I highly recommend having a session with him. He is a very brilliant man and has a lot of wisdom that can really help our planet. And I'm so grateful to have him as our guest here. And
mm,
hopefully we're talking about him doing his own show. So we hope we'll kind of put that out into the universe. And would you guys like that? I bet you'd love to have him on a regular
that'd be
basis
fun.
where you can ask questions, where you can really, have more engagement with him. I think that it's wonderful what when you have a session with him, um, it really was life-changing for me, and I really appreciate it because we had a really good talk afterwards too, and we
Mm.
talked about some of the patterning of things that I
Yeah.
had been working on for myself, and learning how to release my jaw, and just being able to
Mhm.
do that little massage in there, and then again, doing those practices, just finding myself using that as a regular practice that helps. And I don't have that dull ache anymore. I don't have that, like, it was kind of like a regular thing for me. And now that I've been doing that, it's not there anymore. So thank you very much for that.
Wow.
I'll write
You
you a
bet, Karen. It's
testimonial
my
too.
pleasure.
Yeah, I'll write you a testimonial
Well,
too.
I really like this guy that you're talking about. He sounds
Yeah.
cool.
Wait a minute. He sounds like somebody I'd like to meet. So go check
Yeah,
out
yeah,
his website, you guys. And thank you
yeah.
so much for all your beautiful comments, your questions.
Yes,
We
thank you.
absolutely adore you here at Spirituality Gone Wild. We are a global family where everyone is belonging. This is a web of love where everyone belongs. And that's what Spirituality Gone Wild, that's the vision of what we wanted to co-create here. And all of us as hosts and people who are trying to help bring more awareness to our planet, more peace to our communities, more kindness to our world. That's what Spirituality Gone Wild is all about. So if you're new to us, please like the page and you'll get notifications whenever we are live. And we have broadcasts on all kinds of topics. We have Debbie G, who's Debbie Gratitude, and me, Miss Kindness, and we have David Strickle, the Stream of David. We have incredible Love Coach Academy. So we have an incredible group of wonderful hosts and family who are watching in the audience. So thank you everybody for being here. We really hope that you have a beautiful day. And remember to ask yourself in every moment, what else is possible? What else is possible for our world, for our relationships, for our friendships, for our experiences here on the planet, for our beautiful, beautiful nature, for the animals? What else is possible? And let's just keep asking that question. I'll be back next week with my amazing Dr. Dream. Kelly Sullivan Walden will be here, and she will be talking about how our dream time can help us in our awake time. And I think you're going to really like that. So thanks everybody for being here. I'll be back again on Friday with Miss Kindness's Global Neighborhood, where we feature all the amazing global neighbors who are helping to co-create a kinder world. Thanks again for being here. Thanks so much, James. This has been so wonderful.
You bet. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing as we close out? Is there a golden nugget that you can share as we close out here?
Pay attention to your breath.
That's your golden nugget.
The breath is life.
Yeah. I tell the kids that's their superpower. That breath is a superpower. Exactly. It's a superpower. It really is. And once you learn, I had a 10-year-old, James, that was so sweet in the summer camp that I was teaching. And I asked at the end, is there anything that you've learned that you didn't know before? And he said, I learned how to calm myself down with my breath so that I don't do something that I regret in the and it was just like I said, that's like $1 million to me that you got that.
Yeah.
You know, because if you can self-regulate, it's incredible. Once you learn how to self-regulate, it just changes everything. Oh, Carol Ann Cross, I'm so glad you're here. So make sure. Oh yes, Anita. I'm so glad you're here. I didn't see that you came in. So yeah, watch the replay. James shares a lot of wonderful tips and also talks a little bit about our nervous system and how we can easily, with our hands, help ourselves. And so he goes into that and shares why those things happen and why those things help us. And so I encourage you to watch the replay. Please share this out on all of your timelines, your groups, any of the pages you may manage, and watch it with somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, and say, I wanted to share this with you because I was learning some new things about somatic education, and I think it might be something that we could maybe check out together. And like James said, he has these sessions that he can do with you and with couples or with partners. And also he does one-on-one. He did a wonderful session with me that, like I said, was life-changing. And that's why I have him on the show, because I said, well, you've got to be on What Else is Possible, because you're living that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're living that. So thank you so much, everybody. And again, make sure you tune in. We have an incredible show coming up with TJ Woodward that's coming up at 5 o'clock, and conscious recovery. Aren't we all recovering from something?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
we can learn a lot from TJ. I love TJ, and I love his show that's coming up right after us right here. So yay. Hi,
Uma.
Yay, you got some.
Verte.
Yay, you got some yummy friends coming in. Yay. Okay, so watch the replay, you guys. We're gonna end the show here, but you can watch the replay over and over again. There's so many golden nuggets in this show. I think you're gonna really be grateful that you watched it. And also get a session with James so you can experience it, and then find out how you can be more kind to your body and a little more kind to your mind.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks again.
Have a great day. Thanks, Karen.